Yo, what's going on, peeps? Thursday here, and give me a hell yeah if you are watching this right now and you are ready to improve your conversions on your sales calls. I'm like a hell yeah. That's most people want to be able to do that. So, fitness coaches, trainers, are you doing a two-call close? Are you doing a one-call close? How are you pre-qualifying everybody that you are having your enrollment calls with? Well, today, real quick, I'm going to go over the four keys to mastering what's called your triage call. Some people call it a discovery call, which is your pre-qualification call. So that way you can double your conversions. And did I say double? I said double your conversions. And there's a reason why a lot of fit pros actually struggle with the sales call. It's because they don't do a proper pre-qualification call. So if we kind of rewind, a pre-qual is usually about 10 to 15 minutes. It's called a triage. And this is where you are going to invite the person just to find out a little bit more about them. So if you're going back and forth in the DMs and you're like, hey, why don't we have a chat and find out a little bit more to see if maybe I'd be able to help you out with or not. And they agree to have a chat. So you're going to be able to do this, right? It's going to do a lot of things. For one, you're not going to have to book a complete 1 hour strategy call the first time that you meet somebody. So they're going to be more inclined to show up, first of all, if it's just a simple 10 to 15-minute chat rather than an hour, because everybody knows an hour is probably going to be a sales call, a long-winded sales call. And they don't want that, especially if they haven't gotten a chance to know you yet. So you've been going back and forth. So one, you're going to increase your show percentage right off the bat. But why else do we do a triage call? Go ahead and type in the comments below. I know my clients know. So you guys are disqualified from answering these questions. But anybody else, I would love to know, why would you do a discovery call? What are some of the other reasons why you do a pre-qual triage? Well, let's go into a few of them, okay? So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to be able to build more rapport with the person without going into anything sales related, where you're genuinely just getting a chance to know the person. And you're going to frame this in the triage call in the very beginning. Hey, this is not a sales call. You can't buy anything, even if you want to. I'm not trying to sell you my program. I just want to find out a little bit more about you, what you have going on, what you're looking for, just see if it's something that I can help you out with or not. And then you're going to frame this in the beginning of the call. You're going to be like, and if it's not, I'll do my best to point you in the best direction that I can so you can get the help that you need. And if it is something, then we can dive deeper into that later on. But first of all, I just want to know a little bit about you. So there's going to be four key things that we need to hit up on the triage call. Type in the comments if you think you know what they are. Type in. Number one is we want to make sure that they are going to be a good fit, both to work with you and you to work with them. So a lot of times trainers think, I want to make sure that, they want to work with me. Well, you want to be choosy, especially as you really start to grow your coaching business. The last thing you want to have is a bad apple, bad seed, a client that you don't enjoy working with. So you want to make sure, for one, that you can help them and that they're going to be coachable and you're going to enjoy having them as a client. So number one, you're going to make sure that they're a good fit. If your personalities click, those kind of things, right? Second thing that we want to do on this triage call is we want to make sure that they're open to getting some help, right? You're always going to have some people that are like, you know what? I don't want any help with this. I don't. Like that they do, and they need some help, and they've been stuck for 5 years, 10 years, however long in this problem, can't get the weight off, can't gain the muscle, can't gain the confidence, can't gain the energy, can't get off the blood pressure medication, but they still are completely resistant to getting any help. So last thing that you want to do as a coach is spend an hour-long strategy call dealing with somebody, one, that they're probably not going to be a good fit, or number two, they are not open to getting your help no matter what. Like, that's the last thing you want to do. So wouldn't you rather just spend 10 minutes finding that out in the beginning? Yes, absolutely. Okay. Third key that we want to figure out is you want to make sure if they do want to get some help, you're going to say, hey, and if, it seems like I can help you out, then what we can do is we can book another call where we can both be on Zoom or whatever it is, however you want to frame it. It's going to be a little bit more personal. And we're going to dive deeper into the strategies that it's going to take to really help you get unstuck. And then you can tell them about your unique system, your unique mechanism, however you train your clients specifically that kind of separate you from the other coaches out there in the industry. And make sure that their partner or their spouse can be on the call. Any other decision makers, dog, cat, whoever it is. Last thing you want to do is do a perfect discovery call, have a strategy call. Strategy call goes an hour. It goes fantastic. You literally nail, every objection. You go over what they're dealing with now, where they want to go, what have been the roadblocks holding them back. You literally piece by piece. And they're like, yes, I would love to work with you. And you're like, great. It's, this much. They're like, okay, awesome. I'm in, but I just need to run this by my spouse. I need to talk to my wife, my husband, my dog, whatever it is. And you're like, oh gosh. And then what happens when they go and they talk to their partner? What happens, you guys? What happens is the partner is not here to hear all the different steps that you are breaking down and how you can help them and be able to get a chance to know you and your personality and how you're really inspired to be able to help them. And all the partner sees is what? The partner sees a dollar sign. You're like, like, how much is it? $2,500. They're like, no, you can use that doing some other stuff. You can do it on your own. Come on, let's try it on your own. Da, 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 da. And then they're like, okay, right? You just lost the sale. And if that partner was on the call, they would have enrolled with you, because usually when the partner's on there, they're going to be supportive. And they're like, honey, I really like, this guy or this girl. They seem like they really know what they're talking about. They have a system to be able to help you. I think you should go for it. I know it's an investment, but it's an investment in you. You're worth it. Go for it. You've been trying to do this for 7 years. You haven't been able to do it. Go for it. Imagine all the food, all the money we can save that we've been spending on fast food. We can put this to the program for you, right? So number 3, make sure the partner, the spouse is on the call. Does that make sense? Give me a yes if it makes sense in the comments. Drop some emojis down below if you are getting the flow. All right. The fourth and final thing that you want to do is you want to make sure one more thing before you go to the strategy call. Okay. You want to make sure that this is a now thing, not a later thing. Once again, you can go through everything. Everything can be perfect. And they're like, yes, I want to get started. And you're like, awesome, let's rock and roll. They're like, oh, but I have some trips coming up and it's going to be super busy for these next 3 months. So let's get started in April. And that's when I'll have, more flexibility in my schedule. And you're like, if I only would have pre-qualified this person, I could have booked the strategy call in April. Because do you think this person is going to remember everything that you went over 3 months from now when they just heard everything? No, they are not. And by the time you follow up with them in April, they are long gone, because now there's something else, or they forget, or there's different priorities, or whatever it is. So what you could have done is booked a follow-up call in April to go over the whole strategy, as opposed to just now you just wasted another hour and a half of your time. So I hope that was helpful. So let's recap, you guys. Okay. The four keys. 5th key is kind of like building that rapport. But number 1, why do you do a triage call? Well, you want to make sure they are a good fit to work with you before you spend another whole hour with them. Number 2, what is it? Make sure they're open to getting that help. Number 3, what is it? Make sure the spouse or their partner or decision maker, whoever it is on the call, so that way they don't cut your throat and cut you off and throw you to the curb. And finally, you want to make sure it's a now thing and not a later thing. And then what you do is you will be booking in the strategy call. For those of you who need the strategy call script, give me a strategy call script. Give me a hashtag strategy call script in the comments below. I have a high converting strategy call script that's helped hundreds of fitness coaches scale their businesses. I'll send it over to you free of charge. If you need help with the actual strategy call, which is the second call, that's the long call, be more than happy to share that with you. But hopefully that was helpful. If that was helpful, give me a hashtag helpful down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next episode. Take